Welcome to Manage to Engage, the podcast from clearandopen.com. Dedicated to the evolution of you, because businesses grow when people do. Serving leaders, managers, and people who will be, helping you reach excellence in your work and achieve your personal goals at the same time. Sign up for the free course at clearandopen.com. There's almost not a single day in a week where I had not consumed for an hour of some part of me that's just like, why can't I make anything happen anymore? And then I'm like, what do you want to happen? Hi, it's Joseph, and thanks for tuning in to Manage to Engage, the podcast from clearandopen.com. In the last episode, we touched on the value of intrinsic hunger. Although if you experience drive or motivation in your life, it probably doesn't take a lot to convince you that it's a powerful and important element to not just achieving success, but undergoing any kind of self-development. And that really is the crux of this series on hunger. It's a tool for self-development, not a means to an end. And as such, it's an important tool in the manager's toolbox. I offer weekly member webcasts, online courses, and mentorship at clearandopen.com because it's my truth that with the right tools, anyone can eliminate the people, money, and time problems holding them back in business. And I share parts of these webcasts and courses on this show because I want to help you too. If you're enjoying the show and learning from it, I'd love your feedback. If you're listening to the show on an Apple device, all you have to do is open the podcast app, view the full description of this episode, and click the link to leave a rating and review for the show. Thanks so much for listening. Let's start the show.
I feel like when you hold yourself open for things that may come to you, I mean, those flashes of brilliance that I've been getting with meditation are kind of taking me in a direction that I didn't think I was going to go.
Yeah.
And so I would say that that's probably something that's going to happen to you.
I hope so, or I'll try not to hope because hope always invokes hopeless. But yeah, I agree. It's a tricky thing because to say it's like, we'd have to define will, and that's tricky. It takes an hour to do. But the kind of the yogic, penetrative, this is what I want and I'm going to make it happen. That's the realm Tony Robbins usually lives in. Like, what do you want? Whatever that is okay. Now be unstoppable in going and getting it. That's thrival. I'm a huge fan of that. I did it for a really long time. And then catastrophe hit and life told me, hey, that making things happen thing that you've been doing, good job. You're done now. It won't work for you anymore. And then even after that, when I would try to muster that will, it would be like a car that wouldn't turn over. And then things would happen like, I think I wrote an article about this, where I worked my ass off to try to buy a house on Maui and it didn't happen. And then I wrote the little note in a box and closed within 2 weeks of that note's deadline. And so all of these things, there's been many other things like that as well, where I'm just like, okay, I surrender. Clearly my own mind is not capable of being a steward of my life.
What I'm hearing from you and everything that you're saying and what you're writing is that you're more eliminating than bringing things in. And it's been very interesting to see that transition for you.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing. And you can probably tell, thanks for the reflection too, because I'm still in the midst of it. And it's still a struggle. You're probably hearing in my voice. There's still a part of me that is like not literally, quite figuratively, but like a lot figuratively, kicking and screaming. There's almost not a single day in a week where I had not consumed for an hour of some part of me that's just like, why can't I make anything happen anymore? And then I'm like, well, what do you want to happen? I don't know. Besides wanting a mate, that one's clear. And it's like, what? You want like a bigger house? No. You want more land? God, no, that would be way more to take care of. You want to live somewhere besides a tropical island? No. Well, what do you want? I don't know. I want something to want. Oh, I see. And what would you have then? Well, if I didn't have, then I wouldn't have to deal with this exasperating spaciousness that feels like it's going to eat me alive. Okay. Is it going to eat you alive? Well, it hasn't yet. Okay, let's hang with it. So yeah, it's a switch over. Well said, Deborah. Thank you. It's a switch over from the yogic making things happen manifestation, which again, I'm not running down. I absolutely think that that's a necessary phase for, I wouldn't say all people to go through because there's certainly exceptions, but I think that's an important part of learning what you're capable of. And because it's like one metaphor I heard for enlightenment is if the vehicle of self is a car, that kind of vehicle, and enlightenment is inviting you to drive your car into a lake. Well, if you're driving like a 1989 Honda Civic, it's not a big risk to drive that into the lake. You can be like, hey, this car kind of sucks. No problem. Ready to trade it in for whatever you got. Because you don't know what's going to happen when you drive it into the lake. But if you've got, a $500,000 Ferrari F1 and enlightenment is inviting you to drive that into the lake, suddenly you feel like you've got more to lose, right? And you're going to lose more. So in other words, enlightenment or flow or God realization or self-actualization, whatever you want to call it, because to me, at the center of all these paradigms, it's the same thing, whether it's Jesus or Muhammad or the Buddha or Moses or Eckhart Tolle or whatever. That's where all of the falsity in you goes to die. And the more you've invested in yourself, the more you're going to give up. So the more you give up, the more you can receive. So what they sometimes say in Zen is you have to be a somebody before you learn to be a nobody. And so this is why, generally speaking, and there are certainly exceptions. There are plenty of people who, never left their couch and, enlightenment found them and, they never were a manifestable kind of human being. But I think those are the exceptions, not the rule. But certainly sometimes that happens. So part of what hunger serves to do is, it creates the seeker in you. This sense of like, I want more. I want to know what I'm capable of. Unfortunately, that often gets translated into I want more stuff or I want more money. But that's really like a downstream content kind of interpretation of it. The essence of it is I want to know myself. I want to take myself out for a spin and see what I can do. And then it's the process that engages you in. That's where you learn. The journey is the destination. It's not about acquiring all that stuff. It's about what you're going to learn along the way. When I heard a voice in my head that said I should move to Maui, the why in my head was like, well, I've had a pretty rough go the last 3 years. Maui sounds like a great way to recuperate. The journey turned out to be a lesson in crushing existential loneliness because I didn't know anyone here and didn't really meet with any. And it remains to be an issue because, just my conditioned personality is a very manifestable, make stuff happen on time, create whatever I put my mind to. And I'm on an island filled with people who, if you challenge them to tie their shoes really well, would probably avoid the challenge. I'm exaggerating. But it's like, this is not the United States. It's a different country. It's a very different culture. And I had no idea how instrumental it would be in challenging me to let go of all of that professional rigor that I lived in for 20 years. The set goal, achieve goal, set goal, achieve goal kind of mindset. So like the waves erode lava rock, it's been wearing down my personal will in really amazing ways. It's been perfect to move me from thrival to flow, even though part of me is kicking and screaming, has no idea where my life is going and why I'm doing any of this. Thanks for listening to Manage to Engage, the Clear and Open podcast. Join us next week when you'll be a little bit closer to who you're destined to be. Until then, know that Clear and Open is dedicated to the evolution of you, because businesses grow when people do. If you want to help the show grow, I'd appreciate you leaving a rating and review on iTunes. All you have to do is open the Apple Podcasts app, view the full description of the episode, and click the link to leave a rating and review. Or you can go to clearandopen.com/review, and it will bring you to the right place. If you're looking for more support on your journey, head over to clearandopen.com for even more tools, articles, and free resources. Thanks so much for listening. Bye for now.